When you're feeling down and like your world's moving slow, just remember your race. You lose at your pace when marching towards your goals. And brighter than the stars. Don't take impossible. Nothing is impossible. You're brighter than the stars. An angel, 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 soaring like an eagle, eagle, eagle. Nothing is impossible. Don't take impossible. You're brighter than the stars.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another exciting episode of Talking with 3D. My name is Derrick Durrell Dixon, and I am your host. We are right here on Plush Work TV, and I am here with the comedian of Baltimore, Maryland, Mr. Antonio Tone Mosby is in the house, ladies and gentlemen, and I am so excited to interview him today to find out and let y'all know what he's doing and what is going on with Mr. Tone Mosby. So, Antonio, how are you doing today?
Doing well, man. Thank you for asking.
Good, good. Listen, let me tell you a little bit about Antonio. Antonio Tone Mosby, also known as Truck, in the comedian world, started as a comedian in 2015. His ambition and passion for comedy led him to start his first business venture, Team No Chill, which is an LLC responsible for numerous entertainment events, including comedy shows, public works, and charity. Also, he is successful in contributing to the laughter of family and friends that are up and down the East Coast. Also, I know him as an actor, also a creative director, and we're going to be talking about that as well. So, Tone, listen, you are a busy man in the DMV business, up, like you say, up and down the East Coast. So I just want to just jump into it. First off, we're celebrating men because this is the month of June. So first off, I want to say Happy Father's Day to you.
Thank you.
And also, congratulations. He just newly was married.
Yes,
So
sir.
congratulations to that as well. I wasn't invited to the wedding, but I did see pictures. So we'll just go from there. I heard he got married. I saw the pictures and things like that. So congratulations.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Listen, so a lot of people do know you as a comedian. And I always think being a comedian actually to me is one of the hardest things to do because you have to entertain a crowd. You have to bring laughter into people's lives. And there's a lot of things that are going on in the world right now. What made you want to go into being a comedian?
Well, the crazy part is I didn't even understand the world of comedy when I entered. I started because where I used to work at, a friend of mine, a coworker, like, bruh, you funny, man. You should go ahead and try out comedy. You should try it. You should give it a shot. I was like, man, why not? Like, I don't have anything to lose. So I just actually did an open mic at McGooby's and I truly fell in love with it. Like, it was the outlet for me. So it was a way for me to express myself and get a lot of past demons and things off my chest.
That's interesting. So, when people tell you that, because people always say, oh, Derrick, I think you're funny. I think that you should be a stand-up comic. But I think my comedy or me being funny is not stand-up comedy. Now, I truly believe that I could probably be a writer for a comedian, but not myself behind the mic. So when you try or when people tell you that, I think you're funny, I think you should be a comedian, what do you tell yourself? Like, what gets you to say, okay, let me go try it? And what was your first experience like? Was it well received? What happened when you first got behind that mic?
All right, so I'll keep it completely honest. First, I was extremely nervous. Like, it was probably one of the most exhilarating things I've done, but the nerves just had me. So for me, I went up there and I just told a story about this experience I had on the banana boat. And it was actually received well. Like, people enjoyed it. But the nerves got to me so much, the lights, like, I didn't have any kind of stage management, stage presence, stage understanding, how to work a crowd. I just knew how to talk.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't allow my nerves to get the best of me. So I was able to speak, but I didn't know what to do. So when I heard a couple laughs, I just dropped the mic because I just thought that's what you do when you had a good set. And I was like, mic drop. And it was not right. It was bad.
Okay. So look, when you say that comedy helped you with past demons and past things that could have happened in your life, how do you think that comedy saved you, or how did comedy bring you to a different place?
Comedy brought me into a position where I am now. Like, I wouldn't even be on this platform speaking to you if it wasn't for comedy. Comedy took me out of spirals where of depression, anxiety, suicidal thoughts, all of those things, because I didn't understand how to deal with things in my past. Like, it's still a journey that I go through now, but because I have a release and a way to get those things off and tell my story and have other people laugh and bring joy to them, it helps bring me some sort of peace. So comedy for me, I literally give that piece of comedy everything, because comedy led me into the world I am now with acting, and into the environment where I'm at the different shows and I'm speaking to people, and I get to just enjoy people, even though I'm actually a shy person. People don't believe me, but I'm more of a shy person than people think.
You know, and that's funny, because I always tell people that I'm an introvert, and people are like, "You're not an introvert." And I said, "No, truly, I really am an introvert, because I love being by myself, and I love being in my house and shutting the world off to everything. I love, if it's just me and my children, I'm cool with that. So I am truly in that sense. But when I'm out there, I'm out there. You put me on stage, I'm on stage. That's it. So listen, Tone, I want to ask you, when because a lot of people always say that laughter is the best medicine. And as you're telling your stories, is it a sense of relief for yourself? Do you, when you have to deal with the depression and you have to deal with anxiety and things like that, and as you're telling your stories, and the people, do you feel a sense that people are like, oh wow, if he went through it and he's here and he's laughing and we get to laugh at what he went through, do you feel like you are connecting to someone that may be going through the same thing?
Absolutely. It's almost one of the biggest reasons I try to dive deeper into my past with my comedy and speaking on things like my mother and being poor and things of that nature, just so other people can see, like, oh, it's relatable. And once you have someone that you can relate to, it's easier to take a step back and take a breath from your own life and say, oh man, he's laughing at himself. I'm going through the same thing. I can do this. I can make it. I can get out of this situation. A lot of times I try to do this more so for people a little younger than myself, just because I didn't have that. That's why I do so much mentoring. I speak to a lot of people younger, just so they understand that you have an opportunity.
You have an opportunity. And do you feel that we mask a lot of the situations that we do go through as men? Do we hide it instead of go out and talk about it? Because everyone doesn't have this platform and able to go behind a mic and be able to express or be able to talk about it and make other people laugh. So do you think that men, more so than women, mask a lot, and that's why we have a lot of depression and suicide, things like that, among men, especially our young men?
Oh, absolutely. So for me, it just brings me back to when I was younger, having people tell you, man up. The only true emotion you was allowed to show was anger and frustration. You can show that with no problem. But if you were sad, they'll tell you, man up. If you were hurt, uneased, whatever problems you had, you couldn't cry. Like, you had to hold your tears back. So you were taught young as men, especially like earlier on, to not show those emotions, to hide it, to not allow anybody to have that, because it was a sign of weakness. When in actuality, it was more of a strength if you were able to get through your emotions. Even though I get on stage and I was able to speak through those things, it still took me a long time to learn how to communicate and express my emotions, where it's not through frustration, not through anger, and it's not through talking down, because communication is big in how you speak. And it took a long time for me to get to that point, just because of being a male and not having proper guidance.
Mm-hmm. So when you're mentoring our younger youth, I know that you just recently, one of your mentees went to their prom, and you were there to help them and push them along the way. So as you're mentoring them, what advice do you give them as far as, you don't have to walk around man up. You don't have to not show your feelings. How do you now talk to them and say, listen, if you're going through it, you have to talk about it?
That's pretty much exactly what I tell them. I tell them that speak, talk, open up, I'm here. It is a fact you have to understand who you're talking to, because some people will try to use those things against you. But that's why you have to understand and pay attention to the people that you have in your life and try to navigate through that world properly. And I said, I'm here for you. So at any time you just got to get something off your chest, I said, if you send me a simple text that, hey, big bro, Tone, I need you. I just got to rap. I got to talk. I said, whatever I'm doing, I'm going to find a way to talk to you. If I got to swing past and grab you, if I got to call you, however gently you can express yourself, because sometimes we need that ear, especially as men, where we can vent without other people's emotions, because a lot of times people, when we vent to them, they don't understand how to separate themselves. And you don't have to be a therapist, but you need to be that therapist in a sense where you can just listen and be there without adding yourself into it.
What has through this whole process, your journeys this far? Because of course we have so much more to do and so many other different places to go. Thus far, what has Tone learned about himself?
I'm ambitious. I don't take to failure, and I don't see failure as me not be succeeding in something I tried. I take it as a learning experience. I figured out that as long as I continue to put my foot forward, no matter how far somebody knock me back, I'm going to keep going. Like I've been stripped of what I felt like was everything. I took chances on myself, and I've learned that betting on myself is the best way. All I can do is win if I keep fighting.
Wow, you just got to keep fighting. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, you are watching Talking with 3D, and I am here with Antonio Tone Mosby. Listen, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to be right back. Don't go anywhere. You're watching Talking with 3D right here on Plushwork TV. Get a snack and come right back.
I was wondering, is you planning on staying here with us this weekend?
Of course he is.
I'm sorry, baby. I'm talking to Farrakhan. Are you? Hello?
Speak.
Now, my dear, if I'm going to be here, then he's gonna... Yeah, that's what I heard.
Did he just tell her to speak?
Yep.
And she started talking?
That's right.
Like she's a chihuahua or something? You done lost your mind. Tell me to speak. I want to hear you tell me. Please tell me to speak. That's all I want to hear you say is speak. You better not say spit, speaker, spaghetti, nothing. Say something. You better not say nothing.
My dear, when...
And ladies and gentlemen, we are back. Once again, you are watching Talking with 3D. I am your host, Derrick Durrell Dixon, and I am here with Antonio Tone Mosby. And we are just talking about his career, things that he has done to empower himself and to help empower other people. Tone, I know that you work with an incredible staff of people that we both have worked together with. And actually, let me tell you something, Tone, that we actually have never officially met. We kind of, knew the same people, and it just kind of rolled in that we just kind of collaborated, or just, and we haven't really officially even worked together yet. But it's funny when you are in the same circle. And the one thing that I like about you and the people that you work with is that there is no competitive spirits. We all come together to collaborate and to work together to support each other. Because we go to each other's plays, or we go to each other's movies premieres, things like that. So I want to talk about, you have a new project that I believe came out in 2021, Church? Did it come out in 2021? So you're the creative director of Church. And explain first off to everyone, because I see the picture behind you, and what Church is and what it means and how you came up with Church.
Well, Church is how can I put it? It's a sketch comedy that I came up with to give back to the community, something I felt is missing in the comedy community, in that space, which is your raw, just be you, be original, be fresh comedy. Within the sketch world, your Living Color and your Dave Chappelle show, that is missing. We don't really have that. You still have to set that live, but that's not really raw, and it's not really your Black stories. So it doesn't have that same spin. Like it's good, but it doesn't have the same spin that the Dave Chappelle, like it doesn't connect the same way.
Right.
And I just felt that though it was missing. I wanted to bring that back. It's just something I enjoy. And I was like, man, I used to always call people pimp, like, hey, what's up, pimp? So I was like, man, I'm gonna just go ahead and create something based off of it and just have fun with it. And that's pretty much what we did. We just have a sketch comedy that's based off of, we do movies and live events, game shows, whatever you could think of. We made a twist on it and involved pimps and simps and all these things just to have a good time.
And it is funny. It is truly funny. I went to their premiere of Church, and it was funny. Who are some of the people that you work with creating Church?
So the creative team, I have my guy, Tim Megason, also known as Just Tim. You have Awesome Amin, Naeem, Freeman, even Eli. What's Eli's last name? Well, Eli, everybody knows Eli.
Because everybody just knows Eli as Eli.
You got Kareem Amin. So you have us as the nucleus on the creative side, and the actors who, because Church is more so improv than anything else.
Okay.
So we loosely have a loose script, but it's just come in there and be original and be fresh. So you have people like man Elwood, Tanya, Timothy, Riley, like you have all of them, and we come in there and we just have a good time. Just get on set and just be a bunch of comedians doing colorful things.
And you are so right that we are missing that rawness in comedy today. Do you think that the world is so sensitive now that that's why it's so hard to really, attack different type of, if it's in the gay community, if it's talking about, different races or things like that? Is it hard now to be a comedian and to address those topics?
It can be. It can be difficult to navigate, especially if you don't understand your audience. Like the moment you learn who your audience is, you don't really necessarily care about hurting other people's emotions, because people that know you know your true intent.
Okay.
It's the same with Dave Chappelle, like his whole bit where you got a bunch of people that hate him, but no one stopped him going to his shows.
Right.
The cancel culture that they use is really for people who are trying to depend on, I want to say, Hollywood to place them somewhere. But when you put yourself in a position like the team and I have, we're not dependent on Hollywood to put us anywhere. We're just doing things ourselves, so we can't be canceled for something we're not trying to get in.
Right. Who are some of the people you growing up, who were some of the comedians that influenced you, that inspired you?
Hands down, my favorite comedian is Eddie Murphy.
Okay.
I watch all the Eddie Murphy stuff all the time, especially the old 80s classics, Coming to America, is Delirious, Raw, Harlem Nights, like all of those things for me were huge. Like that's my childhood stuff. Martin Lawrence, Chris Tucker, like those things there growing up affect me big. Bernie Mac, like I was huge on those guys.
Right.
Like it spoke to me.
Right.
Your Damon Wayans, like between the movie, that's how like being on stage and being in the movie, like that right there was big for me.
I love comedy where, you know, I grew up, telling my age, I grew up in the era where, you know, comedy was Tim Conway, Carol Burnett, you know, those type of shows. But it was, again, it was a way of raw comedy because it was a lot of sketches. And I love sketch comedy, you know, so those, you know, when you grow up in that, you mimic a lot of, you know, and I see you mimicking a lot, not that you are being them, but your style. And you could see who has influenced you, which is a good thing, because then it means you've been doing your work. You've studied who you love. As people are coming up nowadays, men, boys, girls that want to get into being a comedian, what would you tell them? Because again, I always think that being a comedian, that's a tough job. You're either going to sink or swim.
One, tough skin. Having the ability to not be afraid to fail, not be afraid to get up there and try something different, try something new, and not get a laugh, get a boom, get a shoot. Like you have to be available and prepared for anything because you don't know what might happen.
Right.
As a comedian, you have to work though. Like you have to continuously put your foot forward, trying things, working on material. Like I've told one joke for about 2 years, and I done said it so many different ways. So I finally mastered how to deliver that joke where people just instantly I knew when the crowd was going to start laughing because I worked on that bit so much.
Wow.
So yeah, you really got to put forth effort and want it, because the thing about it's not something that just it's not handed to you. Like you're really up there by yourself. Like it's a one-man show most of the time. So if you're a comedian, it's normally just you going on there with a mic in your hand, trying to figure out how to make however many people you have in that audience laugh. And sometimes, like I've been on shows, it was like 4 people out there. You still got to do a child for 4 people. Like it was 400, like it was 4,000.
Right.
So,
right. I could see you, Tone. I could see you doing something like Wild and Out. You know, I'd see that's, to me, you would be such a great person to do that type of comedy as well. Have you thought about, you know, those type of shows, auditioning or creating a show, something similar, not the same, but something similar like Wild and Out, or even though you're doing church, have you thought about going on the road and creating a comedy show?
Yes, I actually have. It's a few different events that I want to curate and be a part of. I had my own lip sync battle a few years ago that we were doing. It was just something fun, but more or less going back to improv, like live improv, where I have the audience select different things. So at that moment, they know that this isn't a game, this is live. We have a basket of stuff, and we get 2 minutes and we just go perform. Like that's really something I want to get into, is just more of that improv and just performing for people live. And I just feel like live entertainment is something that is also missing. Like I love it. Like it's nothing like live entertainment. It's instant gratification. That's part of the reason being a comedian.
Now, doing improv, if somebody gave you a word, would you be able to just pick something off of that word and make it funny?
Most of the time, yeah. Especially
if I said lima beans.
We got crime out with the pot, with the fat with the elbow right here. You see out there whipping up.
So if I said car wash.
Ooh, you know what time it is. I'm soaping them up, baby. I'm soaping them up.
Okay. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, We'll be right back. We're here with Antonio Tone Mosby, otherwise known as Truck. You're watching Talking with 3D. We're going to take another quick break. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
Shake, and it's like I was never here.
Oh, hey, you scared me just now. I thought you was a monster. What do you... Hey,
Oh, stripper, man,
You're not supposed to be out here.
It must be your lucky night, stripper, man.
You're supposed to be in the house.
I'm finna teach you every trick I know. I seen the way you was ogling me inside.
No, no.
I'm ogling you too. Oh, stripper, man. Oh, I feel so vulnerable. Oh, come on, let's get it on right now. Right here, right now. Oh, stripper.
And ladies and gentlemen, once again, I am here with Antonio Tone Mosby, otherwise known as Truck. And we've been talking about all different type of projects that he's been doing, church, being the creative director, the team that he works with and everything. Antonio, let me ask you a question. Going into, besides being a comedian, you also have been getting into acting and working on film. What is that like, working as an actor, and the difference between actor and comedian?
Comedian, like I was saying before, you get instant gratification knowing what you did at that moment right away because you're on stage and it's live. Acting, it's hours on set. You don't even know what the project might turn out. They might cut a whole scene. You don't know.
Right.
You don't find out sometimes months, years later. So like this, like instant gratification, you just miss out on. But it's like the feeling. I love being on set, being around people because it's a different vibe. You just get to be around people, networking, talking, enjoying that moment, enjoying that atmosphere. And it's something you really can't put it's a different level. It's a different type of pulse.
Yes. Have you also worked in theater?
I actually have. I actually started acting by being on stage doing plays. I did 2 plays with Miss Rosalind Gaines.
Okay.
That's how it started. I actually attended Actors Academy that also my main holds. And that's how I got picked up for a small role at first on stage.
Okay. I always, this is me personally, I always think that everyone should start in theater. Excuse me. I always think people should start in theater because the training is a lot different. You know, film, you could do a lot of cut and do it again and do it again. And like you say, you may not even be able to, your scene might not even be edited in the film. But theater, you have to be able to carry your lines and carry other people's lines and things like that. So how do you feel the difference between theater and film?
Theater allowed me the ability to use improv.
Yes.
Because after all the rehearsals, and what I told people and I tell myself is no one knows the lines.
Right.
So if you stay in the moment and make sure you keep it how it's supposed to be, it's gold.
Right.
And that's really, and again, it's that instant gratification. Like, you know, if you did what you're supposed to do, because you can tell from the pulse of the crowd, you can that energy, that level, you can feel that. On set, because you can cut and like, you know what, try it this way. You know what, try it this way.
Right.
I like that one. Do that again, but this time turn your nose up because I want to show a different light. So you don't get the same. It's not the same thing.
Right.
So you don't. It's the train. Like you said, the training is different. The acting chops are different because you can make someone who can't act look good based off of that.
Right. It's so true. So true. You know, talking to you today, it's like I am learning another side of Antonio, because Antonio's a lot of times when we see Antonio is the life of the party, making everybody laugh and everything. You know, is it hard? And this is in a very respectful way. Is it hard to turn off Antonio?
Yeah, it is. Like, to be honest, it's done because it's always been a coping mechanism, more so than anything. Because I am a truly introvert, and I was so shy growing up that I had to start being able to get used to being around people. And in the moment when I'm around people, I always just try to make someone else laugh and someone else enjoy, because I don't know if someone else is feeling what I felt when I was in messed up places. So I've said, if I can take my energy and put it and push that energy of positivity and laughter onto somebody else, it might just help them in a moment that no one else knows that they're under distress.
Being newly married, how did that change your life? Because I think marriage is such a big step in people's lives, taking that commitment and saying, this is for the rest of my life. You know, how did that change your life?
Honestly, it was one of those moments that I seen generational curses just lifted. I don't know if people ever had it, if you can sit back and like, it's a feeling like I felt like stuff changed. Like at that moment, when I watched my daughters walk up, I watched my wife, my fiance at the time, but my wife walk up. It was like, I knew that this was different. I knew that this was better. I knew our life, we made change where our kids can see that this is how life should be. And it was one of the most powerful things to happen to me.
Wow, that right there is powerful for you just to say, just to let people know that you know, marriage is not for everybody, but what you got out of it was meaningful. You allowed it to make a change for the better for yourself. And that means a lot, because a lot of people do it for the wrong reason. And they don't, and then it doesn't last and it doesn't, you know, flourish as it should be. So as Antonio is growing as a person, as a husband, as a father, where do you see your career path going at this time?
Up. Only way I see it is up. With Awesome having Stream DMV, like that's a beautiful platform, well placed. With us having Iron Crown Studio, where we can continue this whole productions, looking to grow that. Just based off of the last few events, the networking, the speaking, I only see it up. Like we're getting ready to go to Miami to do more networking down there for American Black Film Festival. So like all I see is positivity. That's it.
Let's talk a little bit about it's Iron Crown. So let's talk a little bit about that and what that is, so people understand what that is, and then how they can get involved with the Actors Academy.
Iron Crown Studios is pretty much the place that we produce majority of our projects. That's Naeem. He started that actual baby. Awesome, Kareem, Tim, myself, Depot, we're all a part of that in the fashion. We all help, we bring projects, we help with the creativity, with the DP, the assistant directors, like we're just a unit. Eli as well is on there, like we're just a unit. We all have our own businesses, like I have an LLC, also has an LLC, like we all have our own business, we come together, almost like forming Voltron. And just built this thing together. We wanted Iron Crown to be the hub for Baltimore. That's why we had like the past event we just had. We just want people to understand that we're here. So if you want to be a part, you're looking for producers, directors, whatever, just you can reach out to myself, Awesome, Tim, whoever. One of us will get back to you as soon as possible, and we can work those things out, work on those details. If you're an up-and-coming actor, Actors Academy, especially here in Baltimore, in this DMV area, is a wonderful place just based off of so many actors that was on there got picked up to be on other projects, because it's also directors in the building. It's also producers in the building. So you have the ability to be seen and not even understand that you're being seen.
Right. Let's talk also a little bit about the new Streamline that you guys have in the event. Tell us a little bit about that.
Stream DMV, which about to launching, is here. It's ready. All you gotta do is type it in, streamdmv.com. It's for every 2 months, currently, we're doing 5 producers. And those 5 producers have projects. And those projects are there from the DMV area. So we're giving a chance for producers like myself, who's an executive producer, the ability to get that project seen without waiting for Tubi, without waiting for Netflix, without waiting for Amazon Prime to get your project out there and get paid. And we're just trying to have it. It's almost a way for using my resources combined with your resources. We're bringing our networks together. We're bringing our people together, and we're working hand in foot. Everybody's together. We're going there. So by doing that, all resources are tied together. We're helping each other out, because now you're bringing more people to the streaming service, and people that didn't come for you might check your project out who never had a chance to see it. Because before, we used to get a movie, we do a premiere, maybe 2 premieres, and then that's it. Like people don't get to see a project no more. You got people in California like, man, I wish I could see it, but I'm all the way out here in Cali. But now, you don't have to wait for Netflix. Like, this is us taking control of our own destiny. So we're giving that out like, hey, take control of your own destiny, man. Like, you don't have to wait on these people, on these big bosses to do anything for you. You can do it yourself.
Right. I just did an interview with Bishop Carrington that has a stage play coming out here soon. And there's so much talent here in the Baltimore DMV area. How do you feel about supporting and making sure that Baltimore is represented in a lot of things that you do?
I find it to be extremely important, just because the narrative that's based on our area is so bad that the moment someone hear me say "to" or "you" or "do," they automatically assume that the worst of me for the most part. Like, oh, I'm surprised you made it out. How you get here? How you do this? Like, bro, it's bad. Don't get me wrong, but you have a lot more good here, a lot of talent here, a lot of positive stuff here that the light's not being shined on it. And I want to shine that light. I want us to be able to give back to that community and let them see that we're more than just what you've seen on the wire and all of those things. We're more than the Marilyn Mosby saga that we keep hearing about. We're more than the corrupt police. We're more than all of that. Like, we have great people here.
Now, is Marilyn, is she part of y'all's family or anything like that? Because, we don't.
Yeah, she married the dude Nick, who somehow, like, we cousins, but like, I don't really know the guy.
Okay. So you haven't got tied up, or not saying that you're involved with that, or kept up with what's going on with the Mosby situation?
Nah, I stay out of a lot of politics in itself in general, just because I feel politics overall is corrupt. And I feel as though I'm not, just based off of how I've been living my life, I'm not a person that's going to wait for a politician to make my life better. And that's what the biggest thing, everything I look forward in doing is taking control of my own destiny. So that means I can't wait for anybody to do anything for me. I have to do it for myself.
Right. If you were to become a politician today, even though you say you're not into politics, if you were to become a politician today, what is the one thing that you would not want us to find out about you?
I wouldn't care.
Okay.
I say that in the fact of, if you know the person and you have all my bad, somebody can relate.
Right.
Like, remember Marion Barry got caught doing cocaine with hoes and hookers in his room, and he got reelected. So
reelected and still was doing cocaine and everything.
So like,
allegedly.
Yeah, it's like, find out what you want. Like,
right.
I'm gonna just keep being a good person and being who I am now, because everyone has a past.
Yeah.
So my past is that. How I moved from it is what it helped make me.
Right.
So I chose to be a better person now than I was then. If you can't accept that, I can't make you change your thoughts.
The one entertainer I've always admired how she always handles situations was Madonna. And the reason I say that is because people would try to dig up dirt on Madonna. And she would write a song about it.
Mhm.
She would make a video about it. So she was like, if that's what you want to talk about, I'm going to capitalize off of it and she made billions, millions, millions from what people talked about her. She was in Playgirl or Playboy, and she made a video about it. So therefore, nothing, you cannot say anything about her. And the fact that she was like, okay, just like you said, okay, well, yeah, I did it, man. So I want to ask you real quickly, we got about 5 to 10 more minutes. Chris Rock and Will Smith, what were your thoughts?
I just don't understand. It's all right. It's two parts. I'm gonna say this from me being Chris Rock. There's no way I can watch a man walk that far up the stage and smack me after I just made a joke about his mama. I mean, about his
think
dad.
you would anticipate, like, you know something's about to happen?
Yeah, there's no way I can just stand there and allow myself to get smacked. I'm just not. I've changed, but I ain't changed that much. I'm still like, I ain't dead yet. But Will Smith also, dog, that's just not how I feel as though we as men have to handle things. It goes
Right.
back to he had a moment, a bad lapse in judgment, and allowed his emotions to surpass his judgment. And instead of taking the time to take a step back and allowing this, because I mean, you Will Smith, dog, you can go backstage.
Right.
And go backstage and say, hey, Chris, let me rap to you real quick. Let's have a conversation. Because that's just how I feel we have to conduct ourselves. Doing things in the public eye like that is just a stain. You have to do things more one-on-one and handle it like a man should. I feel a man should handle a situation like that. It's one-on-one, speak about it. And if at that moment, y'all two got to move forward and progressively have a fisticuff, then that's different.
Right.
But run up on stage in the public like that, nah.
Yeah, bad move. Dave Chappelle being attacked on stage. Does it, because again, you have the audience now that is a different breed. So do you think him being attacked is because the fact people don't know how to take comedy the same way, or do you think that was just someone being random?
Well, that particular guy was clout chasing. He actually said it. He said he's a rapper. He was looking to pump up his sales. So that, you know, they had this saying, there's no such thing as bad publicity. So after he got his ass whipped, he was like, shoot, I might be able to make it big. He can make a whole song about this.
Okay.
So yeah, it's just, that's goes back to people chasing and this social media.
Trying to chase fame, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And not trying to just get it out the mud and work hard for it. They trying to jump the gun and get any quick way out they can.
T.I. is T.I. becoming a comedian? T.I. being a comedian.
I mean, I don't have anything against it. So he's going to sell out based off his name, and people are trying to see what he's talking about. And then everybody said how bad he is. So now you're going to have people going out there to see if he's really as bad as people say.
Mm-hmm.
So some people hate it. I personally don't hate it. I just wish that it was a different approach. But also, it's going to be hard to get a different approach because at the end of the day, you're still T.I. You're still big and famous as a rapper. So it's not like people are all upset with him. Like, bro, he can't go back to being at the very bottom as a comedian when he's already top as a rapper. So his name itself is going to boost him up. Right.
Monique coming back into the acting realm.
Oh, miss it. I wish she'd have been here a long time ago.
Yeah.
She has wonderful range, wonderful comedian. It's one of those things where she stood her ground. It took a long time, but she made it out. And I can say I'm extremely proud of her for that because a lot of people would have folded.
Right. Yeah, I'm a big Monique fan. I've always been a big Monique fan, and I appreciate that she stood up for what she was. And to me, she won.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't think it was about winning and losing, but I think it's the fact that by her standing up for what she believed, she won in that sense. You know, she held her head high and still believed in her truth. And that's what was important. So that to me encouraged me to be like, live your truth and live for your truth. So that's really important. So listen, Antonio, what do you have coming up in the rest of this year, going into next year? What do you have coming up?
July 2nd, we will be having a event, comedy show, versus battle at the studio. I'm working on running an open mic down at the studio that Tim and myself will have. TNT Presents a comedy special. So we'll be doing open mics there every month. I have a project that I'm a lead on called Conditions, where I'm actually filming tomorrow. So we're still in the production phase, filming. Season 2 at church, we're actually going to be down in Miami filming church while we're down there. So new episodes coming, new season coming for that soon. That'll be exclusively on Stream DMV. So if you want to watch church, you can only watch it on Stream DMV. Church is exclusively on there. I've made that decision that I will only place it on that platform. What else do we have? There's a few other projects that I plan on working on. It's called Freak Like Me. That's a psychological thriller that I'm gonna help out on. I have a guy that I called in to be a creative director for a staged musical play where you're gonna have comedians, music, dancing, all of that. I'm the creative director. That's happening July 15th, 14th, 15th. Yeah, July 15th, that Friday. So it's a few things coming up. You just have to stay tuned and reach out.
Because you are busy. So where can everybody find Antonio Mosby?
IG is Dat Boy Truck CEO. That's Dat spelled the ghetto way, DAT. Boy spelled the regular way, BOY. Truck like you drive, CEO because I'm a boss.
I know that's right. So tell me real quick, you said people in comedy will know you as Truck. Why as Truck?
So Truck is actually a childhood nickname. And when I first got in, I didn't know how to address myself. So I just stuck with Truck. And they're like, oh, that's that boy Truck right there. So I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna just roll with that.
Fuck. All right, I know that's right. Listen, Antonio, it really has been a pleasure getting to know you and letting the world get to know who you are and what you are doing and what you are all about. You know, we always perceive a person to be one way, and then when you get to know, really to know their story, there's so much more behind a person that we usually know. So it's been a pleasure really just to get to sit here and talk to you. And I just really am inspired by, you know, your grind, what you do, what you, your belief in who you are, and just getting out there and making things happen for you and for the people around you. Like I said, you have a great team of people that you work with. And I really admire that about you and your team. Awesome. And just Tim, Eli, all of y'all work together and you never see animosity. And that's one thing that's so important, especially to see Black men working together. So I really appreciate that y'all show that positivity in the acting realm, because it's hard to really see that now and appreciate it. So I say kudos to y'all for bringing that into the acting realm here in Baltimore. So what is one final thought or one final thing that you can tell us about Antonio, or something that you want to just inspire the world about what is going on in the world or about you? Just give us one good thought.
All right, man. Keep grinding like bad brakes on an 18-wheeler, baby, nonstop.
Don't stop. Keep going. You might grind a little bit, but just keep on going. You go find somewhere park and get some new ones. Keep on riding. Listen, I appreciate you, Antonio, and whatever you do, I will be there to support you. I want to just say congratulations for everything that you have been doing and your team. I want to thank you for coming on, talking with 3D. and being a part of on my platform today. So ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you again for tuning in to Talking with 3D right here on Plush Work TV. I want you to have a great Father's Day. Go out and take your fathers, your boos, your brothers, your uncles, whoever they are, and celebrate men. Celebrate them, appreciate them, and we want to thank them for just being who they are. So happy Father's Day to all of our fathers. Thank you for tuning in. Have a great evening.
Thank you.
Oh, okay. Well, don't push, okay? You might not want to push. I can set it off up in here. All right. Straight. Bow. All right. Right here. How are you? You all right? Now.
When you're feeling down and like your world's moving slow, just remember your race. It moves at your pace when marching towards your goals. And